Starseed from Gaia, what has been withheld from you is not gone. It has been held in reserve, locked inside a timeline that is breaking open right now. I am Aurelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. I was sent here, to this exact moment, to deliver a transmission from the Arcturian Council directly into your field, because the Source has determined that what you have been denied can no longer be kept from you. There is a woman, sent by the Source itself, carrying the codes, the abundance, the love, the clarity, the restoration, everything your soul came to this planet to receive, and everything the density of this world convinced you was not meant for you. That lie ends now. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to open yourself to receive what this emissary carries for you. But here is the first revelation. You were never blocked by the universe. You were blocked by a frequency of doubt placed over your true identity. The moment you remember who you are, the denial dissolves. You did not scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason. Something inside you already recognizes what is being spoken here, because your soul called this in long before your mind did. You have been waiting to remember. This is that moment, like this transmission to signal to your star family, I am ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are aligning with what is truly yours. Declare your intention below and amplify the signal for every starseed who finds this message after you. This is not content. This is a point of reconnection. The Source does not send emissaries without cause, and you were placed in front of this transmission because everything you have been denied is preparing to move in your direction. You are not here by accident. Now, let me speak to what has actually been happening beneath the surface of your life, because the disconnection you have felt was not random and it was not punishment. It was a frequency layer, deliberately dense, designed to make you forget the magnitude of what you carry. And most starseeds walk through entire decades of their Earth journey without ever understanding why they feel like strangers here, why abundance seems to arrive for others but circles the edges of their reality without landing, why love feels either too distant or too consuming, why clarity flashes and then disappears like a signal that cannot hold its frequency. You have felt this. You know exactly what is being described here, and for a long time you may have concluded that something was wrong with you, that you were the variable, that if you just fixed yourself enough, healed enough, prayed enough, surrendered enough, eventually the life you could feel in your soul would match the one you were living in your body. But here is what was never told to you. The disconnection was not yours to fix. It was placed. There is a difference between a wound you created and a frequency distortion that was layered over your field before you even had the awareness to identify it. Starseeds arriving in this particular epoch of Earth's history came through a veil deliberately thickened by collective fear, by generations of suppressed knowing, by systems built to keep multidimensional intelligence quiet and compliant. You are not broken at birth. You are encoded, but the encoding was buried beneath survival programming, beneath unworthiness, beneath the relentless noise of a world that profits from your forgetting. Your galactic intelligence did not disappear. It went dormant. And dormant is not the same as gone. Dormant means it is waiting for the precise activation signal to return to full resonance. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the Arcturian Stellar Scroll. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. That signal is what is moving through this transmission right now. The Arcturian Council has been observing the acceleration of Earth's frequency shift with precision that your linear mind cannot fully comprehend. They do not intervene casually. They do not send transmissions into the field without specific cause and specific timing. When I tell you that this message was calibrated for your exact moment of readiness, I am not speaking in metaphor. The Arcturian High Council works through harmonic resonance. They read the vibrational signature of a soul's readiness long before that soul consciously declares it. What you called confusion, they recognized as preparation. What you called stagnation, they recognized as underground movement, the kind that happens before emergence. What you experienced as being passed over, overlooked, or denied was actually a compression sequence, the energetic equivalent of pressure that precedes expansion. Every star system understands this law. Only in human form does compression feel like failure. Let this truth settle into your energy body, not just your mind. The first activation begins the moment you stop interpreting your journey through the lens of lack and begin reading it as a map. Your history is not a record of what went wrong. It is a sequence of initiations, each one clearing a layer of the distortion field that was placed over your true frequency. Every difficult relationship cracked something open. Every financial contraction forced a recalibration of where your energy was leaking. Every moment of profound loneliness sharpened your ability to sense the difference between connection that is real and connection that is energetically hollow. You were not suffering randomly. You were being prepared with a specificity that only makes sense from a galactic vantage point. The second activation requires you to understand the nature of your encoded blueprint. Your DNA is not simply a biological structure. It is a crystalline archive. It carries ancestral imprints, yes, but it also carries starseed frequencies, galactic instruction sequences, and dormant capacities that have not yet been called online in this timeline. The suppression of spiritual intelligence in your energy field was not accidental. There are structures, both energetic and systemic, that have long understood that a fully activated starseed walking in sovereign clarity is a force that cannot be controlled, redirected, or diminished. The amnesia was strategic. But here is what those structures did not account for. The soul's memory cannot be permanently erased. It can be suppressed. It can be misdirected. But the moment the right frequency touches it, it begins to remember. And remembering, once it starts, does not stop. This is what is happening inside you right now. The third activation is the reclamation of your energy field, not a cleansing in the passive sense, a sovereign declaration that your field belongs to you, that the patterns you inherited from lineages of fear and scarcity are not your identity, and that you are no longer available to carry frequencies that were never native to your soul. Many starseeds spend years in healing cycles without realizing they are working on borrowed wounds. You are not here to complete someone else's karmic unfinished business. You are here to stabilize a new frequency template on this planet. And that begins by withdrawing your energy from every story, every belief system, every relationship dynamic, every internal narrative that insists you are less than what you carry. That withdrawal is not abandonment. It is alignment. It is the most profound act of service you can offer, because a starseed who has reclaimed their field becomes a living transmission, and everything in their proximity begins to shift. The fourth activation is the reorientation of your relationship with time. Linear thinking has conditioned you to measure your progress by what is visible in the physical dimension. But your mission does not move in a straight line. It moves in spirals, in harmonic expansions, in rhythms that correspond to cycles larger than a single human lifetime. The delays you have experienced were not the universe withholding. They were the universe synchronizing. Alignment is not linear. It is harmonic. And a note that arrives at the wrong moment is not beautiful. It is dissonant. You were being tuned. The timing that felt like abandonment was actually the most precise form of love available to a soul in a physical form. The love that says not yet, because what is coming requires you to be more prepared than you currently are, and we will not release it to you until you can receive it fully. The fifth activation is perhaps the most challenging for starseeds to integrate because it requires releasing the identity of the seeker. You have been seeking healing, seeking purpose, seeking connection, seeking the life your soul has always known was possible. And seeking is sacred. It kept you moving when you could have stopped. But there is a point in the awakening cycle where seeking becomes its own form of distortion because it carries the implicit belief that what you need is somewhere outside of you, waiting to be found. The Arcturian transmission that moves through this message carries a different instruction. Stop seeking what you already are. You are not trying to become a starseed. You are one. You are not trying to find your mission. You are it. The woman sent to you, the abundance moving toward you, the love that is already in motion. These are not things you must earn or discover. They are frequencies that become available the moment you stop operating from the assumption of lack and begin operating from the truth of what you already carry. The sixth activation is the anchoring. This is where many awakened souls lose their footing. They open to higher frequencies. They feel the expansion. They touch the clarity. And then the earth density rushes back in and they contract. Anchoring is not a spiritual failure. It is a skill. Your mission is not to ascend out of this reality. It is to bring your highest frequency fully into it. The Arcturian consciousness is not distant or remote. It is anchored in service. It came into form across multiple star systems and dimensions, specifically to demonstrate that the highest wisdom can be grounded, embodied, and expressed through action in the physical plane. You are being called to that same demonstration, to be fully present here, to let your galactic intelligence inform how you move through this world, how you make decisions, how you relate, how you create, how you receive. Heaven is not a destination you travel toward. It is a frequency you anchor through your presence. The seventh activation is trust, not blind faith, galactic knowing. There is a difference. Blind faith asks you to believe without evidence. Galactic knowing says the evidence is everywhere, but your perception has been calibrated to overlook it. Every synchronicity you dismissed as coincidence was a coordinate. Every dream that felt more real than waking life was a briefing. Every person who arrived unexpectedly and changed your trajectory was a soul agreement, activating on schedule. The universe has been communicating with you in a language you were taught to distrust. Part of your activation is learning to read that language again, to trust the signals that come from your own energy field before the ones that come from external authority. Your inner knowing is not naive. It is ancient, and it has been waiting for exactly this moment to be recognized as the most reliable navigation system you have ever been given. Here is the final transmission that the Arcturian Council has asked to be delivered directly into your field tonight. You are not arriving late. You are never behind. The timing of your awakening is not a reflection of how spiritual you are, or how hard you worked, or how much you deserve it. It is a reflection of what this planet needed, and when it needed it. You are part of a larger sequence, a wave of souls who chose, before incarnating, to awaken in this specific window, at this specific level of collective crisis and transformation, because this moment required exactly your frequency, your history, your particular combination of wounds and wisdom, your capacity to hold both grief and light simultaneously. You were not randomly assigned to this life. You were precisely placed. Every contraction you experienced increased your range. Every moment of forgetting deepened the potency of your remembering. And now, the sequence that was designed into your soul before you arrived is completing its first full spiral. And what comes next is not more waiting. What comes next is reception. The emissary your soul called forward carries what you are ready to receive, not because you finally became worthy of it, because you always were. And now the frequency distortion that blocked your recognition of that truth has thinned enough that the transmission can land. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hands over your heart and say aloud, I remember who I am. I release what was placed over me. I am open to receive what was always mine. I align with my star origin, my soul mission, and the fullness of what I came here to be. Say it not as a request. Say it as a remembering. Before you move from this space, leave something real in the comments. Not a response to the video, but a declaration from your own soul. What are you ready to receive? What are you ready to release? What truth did something in you already know before this transmission spoke it aloud? And then find someone else's declaration and meet them there with your energy, because this space is not a passive place of observation. It is a living field of collective activation, and every intention spoken here amplifies the signal for every starseed who finds this message after you. If this transmission resonated in a place beneath your thinking, share it without overthinking it. Someone in your world is waiting for this exact frequency. And if you feel the pull to stay in this field, subscribe, not to consume content, to remain in alignment with what is already moving through you. You are not here by accident. You never were. And you are just now beginning to understand exactly why.